Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, so you've shared some really interesting sources with us, all focused on HACCP, hazard analysis, critical control points, and where things seem to be heading in 2025.
That's right, looking across food, pharmaceuticals, and medical devices.
Exactly. So our mission today is simple. Pull out the key updates, the really important insights you need to know about ensuring safety in these sectors next year.
Consider this your shortcut, yeah. A way to grasp the changes without getting totally bogged down in dense regulations.
Perfect. Because we're covering those three key areas,
Yeah.
food, pharma, and medical devices.
And the common element, of course, is HACCP. I mean, it's that proactive thinking about risk, right? It's become such a gold standard for safety.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's fundamentally about preventing problems before they happen, which saves lives, really. And what's super clear from the sources is things are changing. The regulations are evolving.
Definitely. So let's unpack what's new and, maybe more importantly, why it matters.
Okay, let's start with food. That seems like a good place. They've been using HACCP for ages, haven't they?
Oh yeah, for a long time. It's a mature application there, but that doesn't mean things are static. There are some pretty significant updates coming down the pike.
Right, like this new FDA preventive controls guidance.
Yeah.
Let's dig into that. It's an update to the PCHF rules, hazard analysis, and risk-based preventive controls for human food under FSMA.
Correct.
So for people in the food industry, what's the core shift here? What's the big takeaway?
Well, the real push seems to be towards much more specific and detailed preventive controls. Think about allergen management, for instance.
Okay.
It's moving beyond just, slapping a label on. The updated guidance really stresses having strong preventive actions throughout production.
Just stop cross-contamination.
Exactly, to minimize that risk. And similarly, there's a bigger spotlight on supplier risks, really digging into your supplier's own safety practices.
So that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Food supply chains are incredibly complex now, and allergies are so serious.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting, the comment period for this FDA guidance is open until August 2025.
Yeah, that's right. So it's still evolving. They're still gathering feedback as they finalize these important changes.
Okay.
And if you connect that to what the USDA is doing, they've got new residue control measures for meat and poultry.
Ah, yes. Focusing on chemical residues,
Yeah.
right? Like leftover drugs or pesticides.
Precisely. Preventing those contaminants from getting into the final product. So if you're in the meat and poultry sector, the message is clear. You need to reassess your HACCP plan.
Make sure it addresses those specific hazards proactively.
Definitely. It means looking hard at your supplier checks, making sure things used way back in animal production don't cause a problem down the line.
Okay. Now, stepping back internationally, Codex Alimentarius, they're emphasizing food safety culture now. That jumped out at me.
It's a big one.
It feels like it's moving beyond just having the paperwork in order, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's now a formal requirement in the Codex HACCP framework. The core idea is, well, it's that safety has to be everyone's job,
Sure.
company-wide.
Right. From the top leadership down to the person on the line.
Exactly. Building a shared mindset where everyone feels responsible and empowered to speak up about safety concerns.
That feels like quite a fundamental shift. So, okay, for food manufacturers trying to, keep up with all this, what are the absolute must-dos right now?
First, review and update those HACCP plans, no question, especially incorporating these detailed points on allergens and supplier checks.
Mm-hmm.
And second, training, but not just ticking a box, training that builds that culture. Everyone needs to understand the why behind it all.
Makes sense. Okay, let's switch over to pharmaceuticals. Now, you said there isn't a direct HACCP regulation per se, but the thinking is there in quality risk management, QRM.
Exactly right. The principles hazard identification, risk assessment, control measures, they're totally central to QRM and pharma. And the recent updates we're seeing really reinforce that link.
Okay, like the updated ICH Q9R1 on quality risk management, that sounds important. What's the main change pharma companies need to grasp?
The biggest shift is a much stronger expectation for formal scientific risk assessments, meaning less subjective judgment, more hard data. You need robust, data-driven justifications for your controls. You have to show why you chose a specific risk strategy with evidence.
So, because we've always done it this way, isn't good enough anymore.
Not really, no. It demands more rigorous data collection, better analysis to back up those risk decisions, which, makes sense given what's at stake.
Absolutely. Patient safety is paramount.
Okay, and then there's the FDA looking more closely at supply chain risk oversight in pharma.
Yeah, the requirements there are pushing companies to be way more proactive, Better reporting of potential disruptions is one piece,
Moving from just reacting to problems.
to actively identifying and mitigating risks across their entire supplier network. Think about how complex global drug supply chains are. This is critical.
For sure. We hear about shortages, quality issues. It really shows the vulnerabilities. Now, the EU's updated GMP Annex 1 for sterile drugs. You called that a game changer.
It really is significant, yes.
Yeah.
The EU now mandates a contamination control strategy, a CCS, for all sterile drug manufacturers.
Yeah, and when you look at what it involves, identifying contamination sources, assessing risks, implementing controls, and monitoring, it's basically HACCP.
Oh, right.
It's a HACCP-style hazard assessment, but specifically tailored for keeping sterile products sterile.
So different name, same underlying systematic approach to controlling hazards.
Yeah.
Okay, so summing up for pharma looking towards 2025, what are the key things?
1. Formalized, documented, science-backed risk assessments are non-negotiable now.
Got it.
2. If you make sterile products, that comprehensive HACCP-like CCS is mandatory. No way around it.
Right.
And overall, just, proactively updating your quality systems to meet these higher expectations is essential.
Okay, crystal clear. Let's move to our third sector, medical devices.
Right.
You mentioned HACCP thinking is kind of already baked into ISO 13485 and the FDA's QSR. So what's the big news here for 2025?
The main event is the FDA's new Quality Management System regulation, the QMSR. This is a really big step.
Why is that?
Because it's all about aligning the U.S. requirements much more closely with the international standard ISO 13485 towards global harmonization.
Right, that could potentially simplify things for companies selling globally, right?
Potentially, yes. But the core emphasis, the big shift within the QMSR, is demonstrating risk-based decision-making
ISO.
at every stage. From the very beginning, design and development, through manufacturing, all the way to post-market activities. Risk assessment has to be woven into everything, continuously, not just a one-off thing.
And you highlighted this is especially critical for certain types of devices. Which ones face the most intense scrutiny?
Yeah, absolutely. For your higher-risk devices, things like implants, key diagnostic tools, anything sterile, regulators are going to be looking very closely at the hazard analysis and how effective the controls are.
Makes sense. Protecting patients from potential harm from those devices. So for medical device companies navigating this, what are the key takeaways?
First, alignment with ISO 13485 is more critical than ever if you're in the U.S. market. Second, that risk-based thinking needs to be evident and documented everywhere in your processes, not just happening, but provably happening.
Documented proof.
Exactly. And finally, doing regular sort of HACCP-style hazard reviews, looking for potential contamination, malfunctions, safety issues, that's going to be fundamental.
Okay, so it seems like across all three industries, food, pharma, devices, this proactive, risk-based approach, really drawing on those HACCP roots, is just becoming more and more central.
That's definitely the trend.
So let's talk best practices then, things that apply across the board. What should companies be prioritizing for effective HACCP systems in 2025?
Well, one of the absolute fundamentals is reassessing your hazards regularly, at least annually.
A minimum.
Minimum. Things change, right? Regulations, science, materials, processes. They all evolve. Your HACCP plan can't be static. It needs to be a living document. If it's gathering dust for a year, it's probably outdated.
Right, you can't just set it and forget it. That makes perfect sense. And you also stress training people. It's more than just the technicalities, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Like we talked about with food safety culture, making sure everyone understands their part in preventing hazards. That's critical.
It's about building that commitment.
Yes, a genuine commitment to safety at every level. People need to understand the why, not just the what. Why are these rules here? How do my actions impact safety?
Got it. And finally, technology. You mentioned leveraging tech. Sounds like there are some interesting tools emerging.
Yeah, definitely. Technology can really boost both the efficiency and the reliability of hazard control. We're seeing AI tools helping with risk assessment.
AI.
Yeah, helping analyze complex data. And advanced sensors for real-time monitoring, like temperature. Even blockchain for supply chain traceability.
Blockchain. Interesting.
Yeah.
For tracking ingredients or components.
Exactly, giving much better transparency. These aren't just sci-fi concepts anymore. They're becoming practical tools to strengthen your HACCP systems.
So it's about looking beyond the traditional checklist and using these tools to get a deeper understanding of risk and better ways to control it.
Precisely. Being proactive. Using everything available to build the most robust safety net possible.
This has been incredibly insightful. It's so clear that HACCP, while established, is far from static. It's really evolving quite significantly as we look towards 2025.
That really is the main point. It's not just a regulation you comply with, it's a mindset, isn't it? A continuous loop of anticipating risks, controlling it, preventing harm.
Yeah, a fundamental way of operating safely.
Mm-hmm. Ensuring the safety of products people rely on every single day.
So for everyone listening, as you kind of process these updates, the new guidelines, the focus on risk, maybe take a moment. Think about your own role or just your understanding of these industries. How might these changes impact how you see safety and risk? It's definitely food for thought.
It really is.
The bottom line seems pretty clear, though. Stay informed, keep learning, and always, always make safety the top.
Thank you, viewers, for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and share it with your colleagues. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel by clicking that subscribe button below so you never miss out on valuable insights. I'm Brian Edmonds, signing off. See you in the next one.